I was the world's shittiest bartender. I mean, I was, you know how you ever lose your keys?
Every day.
I am that as a person. I am losing your keys as a person. And that's exactly, that played itself out so unmajestically when I became a bartender for 3 weeks in Kensington in San Diego. So here's my story. I really desperately needed a job because I was writing about music in the 1990s. And when you're writing about music for an alternative weekly, they pay you about 10 cents per year. And so I needed to, subsidize the income. So I went to the North Park Bartending Academy. And not very many people know of this, but they have fake bottles and everything else. And you can practice the arts and you're going to become Tom Cruise. You're going to become something so below market Tom Cruise that it's almost endearing in how bad it is. And nothing against North Park Bartending Academy. I'm sure that it's much better establishment right now. This was literally 28 years ago. And so I get a job through a friend at this cute cafe. Kensington Cafe. Do you remember Kensington Cafe?
Yeah, sure do.
Or Kensington Grill, excuse me.
Oh, Kensington Grill. No, I know.
Okay, this was before your time.
This is before my time.
Tracy Borkham, who now runs Cucina Urbana, Artifact at Menge, Kitchen at MCASD. She's become a great restaurateur. This was her first place. And she let me in the door. This was the worst mistake she ever made in her entire life. And so I get in there, and I'm working behind the bar.
Were you a personality hire?
Dear God, I was just loud and obnoxious until they actually said yes. And I get in there and I have so many friends. Instantaneously, I have a crowd around the bar and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm really good at this. I am entertaining. I'm gathering people. We're having the time of our lives. This is why you come to bars. And I realized the only reason the crowd was there is because I'm so shitty at making drinks. I'm so slow at making drinks that I would look over and I would see like a line of servers. It was like communist Russia.
A literal and figurative bottleneck.
Yeah, it was, huge. A huge line of servers who were just so pissed off. They're not making their tips. They got angry tables. It took no more than 3 weeks for Tracy, not Tracy herself, the person that worked for her, who was also very kind and sweet and an amazing person, fired me and let me go. Interesting thing about this crew, on that crew was Hannes Coven was the chef. Hannes Coven would go on to open up Carnitas Snack Shack, which became a really popular thing, which obviously has a place down by the waterfront now. Hannes is no longer involved. Then in the kitchen or on the serving floor, there was John Weber. And then the girl who was just hired during my last day, which is really coincidence that she was hired during my last day, right before they let me know they were firing me. She just showed up and I'm all, oh, look at you. You're nice and new. She was a sweet, sweet person. And she's like, hi, my name's Angie. And they're like, and then later on the end of the day, they're like, well, Angie's replacing you. You're gone. Angie and John Weber got married and started Cowboy Star. So this was like the like heavy hitters, not me, but heavy hitters of San Diego's food scene just got to witness me being fired.
That's amazing.
You were a bartender.
I was, very briefly as well. I lasted a little bit longer than you. It was probably like 3 or 4 months, and it was Vino Carta, and it was 2018. My ex-husband had just left. We just split up. I, too, was a freelance writer who needed to supplement my income suddenly. And Pat Ballou, co-owner of Vino Carta, was like, come on down. I was big in, at the time, I was writing a lot about natural wine specifically, so it was perfect, right? I knew the portfolio, knew everything. He put me on the Sunday shift. And I, too, thought I was doing amazingly because, it was convivial. It was alive. We were vibing. We were getting drunk. We were having so much fun.
This is amazing. I'm getting wasted on the job.
This is literally the best job ever.
Yeah.
And bless him, he let me, in for a few months. And then one day he was like, everyone loves you. And, it's just so much fun. And you're just so great with the customers. But, I think maybe we're going to put someone else.
I think you should do something else.
Yeah. And you know what? I was like, totally, word. I get it. And it took me several months before I was like, wait. I think I got fired. He was so nice about it and so cool about it. And I just kept hanging out there. And he's still a really good friend.
So you were the never hire your friend?
I would hire my friends. I just maybe don't hire me.
No, you were the never hire your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I was a full personality hire. And I tried really hard. The service elements of a service job are really difficult for me.
And the reason why we're talking about this, welcome to Happy Half Hour, by the way. I'm Troy Johnson. That's Jackie Bryant. We are San Diego Magazine. This is everything that you're going to need to know about your food scene. I should have said that about 5, 10, 15 minutes ago. But hey, we've only been doing this for 9 years. Maybe we'll get better one of these days. But the reason why we're talking about this is we have 2 of the best bartenders in San Diego. 2 of your favorite bartenders in San Diego. immaculately great dudes who opened up together a few different places, but specifically Happy Medium in North Park. They're going to come on and teach us all about bartending and tell us some tales. My problem with bartending, well, I want to back up real quick. You got fired from a wine bar.
It wasn't even like real bartending. Yeah, it was like literally just pouring and washing out glasses. I was wondering if you were going to notice that.
It's like getting fired from a beer tap.
Yeah, I was having too much fun. I was like, oh my God, all my friends are here. This
You were
is
going
why
through
at San
some
Diego
shit.
Magazine, I mostly work at home because everyone's like my friend, and I'm like, and then I
Oh yeah, no, you are
and-
terrible in the office.
Yeah, it's just,
you are.
know.
I mean, the best, and you have the most beautiful brain, and that's why we love you because there's 19 million ideas coming out. But whenever Jackie's in the house, no one's working.
need to be
Everybody's
sequestered.
around the campfire. Jackie's entertaining. So my problem is I'm not spatially aware. I don't put anything back the same place twice, and that is with my shoes. That's with my jeans. That's with my
Same.
keys. That's with my children. I don't put them the same way the place twice. I just don't.
Nor words. None of it, frankly. I don't. I certainly
No, I am free jazz, like bad off Broadway, off Harlem, like bad jazz. Like that's what I am.
But you can cook.
I can cook. It's really messy.
Can you make
and
drinks
it's like
now?
Guernica. But anyways, that's it. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. Some of the best bartenders in San Diego. They are on their way in. But first, we're going to do, well, I'm not going to introduce you into the news yet because I want to tell you about Brunch Bash. We're doing Brunch Bash, and it's May 22nd. Am I making that up?
I think you're right.
Omni Lacosta? Who knows? Go to our website. You'll find it. It sells out every single year. The best morning food, the best breakfast and lunch and brunch chefs in San Diego. It's a heck of a daytime party. Omni Lacosta is beautiful. And the other thing I want to tell you is that we're working with Mr. A's. So Ryan Thorson, he was one of my favorite human beings in San Diego. He was a longtime GM of Mr. A's under Bertrand Hug. And it's a classic, iconic institution that he took over. Bertrand probably could have made more money selling it to somebody else. And he chose loyalty. And he chose Ryan because Ryan was the heart and the soul of it. And he sold it to Ryan, who has really stewarded it into a new generation. Like it's now kind of become a scene. They have a lobby bar. They've got a great happy hour that Jackie can't stop talking about.
I love it.
I know. So we are helping them tell their stories of their 60th anniversary, 60 years as a restaurant on top of the world. We're looking for good, interesting stories. Megan, what did you say? How did you describe the stories we're looking for?
Funny, interesting, unique, make you blush, make you laugh, make you smile.
I like to make you blush, make you laugh, make you smile. Okay, so anything you have from Mr. A's, we've got 60 years of people going there. Your grandparents went there, your parents went there, you went there, and the new generation is going there right now. So call or email us. Email us at hello@sdmag.com. We'll just say that. And tell us a Mr. A's story and watch for some of the Instagram posts that we're going to be doing about it. We're going to put them all together. We're going to do some videos of people who got engaged there, people who had some hijinks there, people who tried to get engaged there and it didn't work out, whatever it is.
Had some hijinks.
That's it. That's all for the house cleaning. Jackie, what's our news today?
All right. Well, there's a lot of new food at Petco Park. The season has started. We are here. We're in the mix.
As we record this, they are 6-0, and as this morning they signed Jackson Merrill, a 21-year-old phenom that everybody thought was gonna go away to some better team with more money, and they signed him to a 10-year deal. I felt like Christmas this morning.
Do we know why is he here?
Because San Diego is amazing. It's got great tacos.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
That's it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyways,
But I
okay.
know about the food.
Yeah. Okay,
so
tell me
there's
about the food.
a ton of new food at Petco Park this year. Drew Deckman is at Ballast Point. That's Baja's Michelin-starred chef, 3131 in North Park, Deckman's and El Mogor down in Valle, and a whole bunch of other spots. So he's doing locally sourced ceviche, oysters, fish tacos. Like, have you ever had an oyster at a ballpark?
This is cool. I wouldn't
crazy.
unless it was Drew Deckman.
Right?
If it was,
Good point.
You know, now ballparks have changed. Petco is really one of the ones in the country, and I'm not saying this because I'm a homer, that changed the scene
Very true.
on food in ballparks. Before it genuinely was kind of mid corporate, back the truck up, unload the freezer, sort of food and hot dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and then Petco Park started bringing in, Hodad's and Puesto and Wonderland, all these kinds of places. And it got really good. Seaside Market with the Cardiff Crack.
Yeah, they're smart.
But having a Michelin star chef, not in the VIP area for people who can afford, $1,000 tickets. This is in Ballast Point, which is in the general concourse. You can go try Deckman's food. And I asked him, I texted him, I'm like, are they really letting you do what you want to do with food? And he said, yep. Absolutely, all the time. Because that was one of the other problems with ballpark food, and nobody knew this. Even though way back in the day, and I'm sure there's still elements of this somewhere.
It's like airports, right?
It's like exactly like airports. They license the name, but you are not able to put your people in there. You can you can say like, this is exactly how you cook it, but you can't really manage it day to day and put your own people. Like you had a great sous chef. If you had a great general manager that you loved at your shop, you can't just put them in there. They've got to be hired by the concessionaire.
And sometimes the cooking infrastructure is different too. Like you need to rely on microwaves more and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So Deckman said, absolutely, no, I'm cooking the kind of food that I want to cook. That's awesome.
I know. I'm really so that's at Ballast Point Stand, which is behind section 207. There's new sliders at Cubola, which is in section 107, including a standout with grilled onions, maple bourbon bacon.
Maple bourbon bacon.
Maple bourbon
bacon. That's also a kind of bacon. All right.
Tijuana style bacon Cali dog from Mercado in section 119. It's massive. Maybe the best dog in the whole park this season. A lobster topped grilled chorizo sausage roll from Blue Water Seafood. That's on the Toyota Terrace level.
Can we talk about this real quick? Blue Water Seafood is one of my favorite places in San Diego. The Braun brothers, who grew up in OB, the third generation, they know every single fisherman in town. They've known them since they were kids. They know where to get the best fish. They fish them themselves all the time. And if they are doing a lobster topped grilled chorizo sausage roll, I guarantee it's going to be fantastic.
Yes, definitely. Mini Donut Company opens in section 107 and 309. Teaspoon is also new this year in Gallagher Square. They're bringing legit boba and milk tea to the ballpark. This is one of my favorites. The banana bread pudding in a Padres mini helmet from Holy Paleta in section 116. Taking after the tiramisu and the Yankees helmet that I'm very jealous of because I am a Yankees fan.
I miss pudding.
Yeah.
When did pudding?
You don't have to miss pudding.
When did pudding go out? Like who killed pudding? Like it just hasn't been around. Like it's like my dad.
I think as we got into more textural desserts.
My dad was around, by the way. That was I was just joking.
Yeah. I think I know what you mean. I feel like it went the wayside of like TV dinners and sort of like mid-century foods that kind of got pushed aside in favor of more experimental textural things, but I'm with you.
I bought Jasper pudding, a Jello pudding. You know the black the chocolate and vanilla swirl one from Jensen's the other day, and I dug into it before he dug into it before we got out of the grocery store. I took a bite myself just to make sure, and it was phenomenal. It was so good, and that's like the corporate Jello. It was so good. Anyways, okay.
Well, now you can get it in a helmet in section 116.
Okay.
I'm very excited by that.
You got Seaside, Hodads, Board and Brew. Awesome. Okay, next.
All right, college area. Effen's Pub is out. The Mesa is in. Now, Effen's Pub is that old Irish-style pub on El Cajon Boulevard that it looks almost out of place in San Diego. Like, it looks like it should be in Southie in Boston or something like that.
Nice.
But it's the go-to dive for cheap pitchers. Rugby, they show a lot of rugby games there. Yep. And it's finally closing after decades of sticky floors and dollar beers. Replacing it is the Mesa, a more grown-up bar and restaurant concept from new owners. Expect a full interior gut, an upgraded menu, craft cocktails, which is like crazy for that area of town, and a little more polish. They're still keeping the TVs.
All these restaurants are growing up. Like, does that mean we have to at some point?
No.
Okay, good.
I don't
All right, just checking. Checking.
They're still in a college area. So I think they're going like more for the college crowd because that is, I can assure you, not really who's hanging out there now.
Okay.
What do you want to do about Lilo? We've kind of like mentioned that it's coming still. And I put this in because we had the article up. But like, honestly, the's not really any.
I love this. We should just keep this part in too, I think. So Lilo, I'm not actually quite sure about this. We'll talk about it again though. Lilo is opening up in the next week or two.
Yeah.
And it is Chef Eric Bost and John Resnick. John Resnick started Je ne Jolie, Campfire, really gave Carlsbad two of their not first. There was great food being made in Carlsbad, but this was special.
Transcendent.
It was they had really talented, like imaginative food, and they won a Michelin star. They opened up Wildland not too long ago. And then the Lilo is going to be the 22-seat tasting menu only. This is 2.5 hours. This is where you're in for the marathon. You're going to get tiny little cups of Gatorade that are given to you between course and 7 and 8. You throw them off to the side of the restaurant, and you keep on going.
You might get some like pancreas or gallbladder pain or liver pain, but just push through it. It's all right.
We are the best advertisement for this restaurant. That just shows you we're not an advertisement for the restaurant. We just actually dig what they do. And Eric Bost Eric Bost, man, we wrote the story about this. So Eric Bost, he worked his way up for like 20 years in some of the best kitchens. He was Guy Savoy's like right-hand man. That was when he finally hit the top. He was in San Diego like a decade ago. Worked for Lodge of Torrey Pines, which is where like Farm to Table started in San Diego. He was at the inn at Rancho Santa Fe, also a great property. And then Guy Savoy. And then he came back to LA. He opened up his dream restaurant. Took a year and a half or something like that to open his dream restaurant. When did he open it up? 2019. What happened a year later? On a 1-year anniversary, his dream restaurant, which Renee, I'm going to screw up his last name, Red Zeppi, of NOMA. He came in to eat, forget, there's a few other people. Giswa came in there. Daniel Balut, I believe, was in there as well. It was like the talk of the town. It was such a great, well-loved restaurant, and it shuttered once because LA County shuttered all dining rooms, and his dream that he worked his 20 years it died. And right down in San Diego at the same time, John Resnick had lost his longtime chef, Andrew Bachelier, who left to be with his family during the pandemic. So they kind of found each other, and then they won the Michelin star. Andrew Bachelier deserves a lot of credit for building that thing. I just want to say that out loud. But Lilo is the next evolution of what John and Eric are doing together. Yeah.
Very excited for it. Far Corner Pizzeria and Bar has opened in East Village. Chef Maxwell Senescal, formerly of Juniper and Ivy plus New York fine dining cred, just opened Far Corner Pizzeria and Bar, and that's in the old basic space. He's doing California style sourdough pizza with blistered crust, wild toppings like lamb sausage and fermented chili honey, and a market-driven menu. So different from what you got at the more New Haven East Coast style basic.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's another pizza place in that spot, but this is the family that owned the building for a long time, and this is like this chef in the family that went across and earned his chops and is coming back to do something with the family building. Should be really, really good. Maxwell is mostly the owner. The corner, the Square Pizza Dough Whisperer. That is the guy that's actually doing the cooking, and there's other people cooking it itself, but he's doing menu development and everything else. It should be great. And then finally, Tara Monsod. Anime was announced as a James Beard finalist. That's the second time she's done that. That's fantastic, and I'm so happy for Tara. We'll see if James Beard will finally get their head out of their ass and give San Diego a James Beard win. This may be the year. I really thought that it was last year for Tara.
Same. I could see it. I could see it even more. Her cred has only extended and grown. She's added Lecoq to her portfolio and managing the creative on that kitchen. And honestly, Anime's dining room is still packed. It is still one of the hottest tickets in town.
No, she's fantastic. She really knows her stuff. She's a community person. She's just a great. I'm a big fan. And I want to say, James Beard should pull their head out of their ass. I love the James Beard Foundation. I love them.
Same.
I don't think that they've given San Diego enough credit. And I don't think they actually had people here. And I know they didn't have people here to actually represent, to really kick the tires on our food scene until very recently.
We speak frankly because we love.
Yeah, exactly. So if the great organization is now doing it legit in San Diego, I think that Tara's here this year. But I said that last year, so
I almost put money on it. I was like, she's definitely going to win.
That's it.
We'll knock on wood.
That is your news for the day. Now let's get into our interview. I believe our guests have just arrived. All right, boys. What'd you bring us?
We brought 4 cocktails.
Which one am I drinking right now?
Right now, you're drinking our newest one. It's the Agua Ranchera,
okay,
which I got scolded on how to pronounce it. I said Agua Ranchero, and it was with an A. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically, it's a ranch water. Tequila, strawberry, a little bit of cinnamon,
nice
soda, super light,
but
easy.
But it's not too sweet. Yeah,
it's not sweet.
Yeah,
the goal was to bet. I wanted sessionable, crushable cocktails.
Yeah.
So Eric and I just tried a bunch of drinks.
It's like Waterloo, but with booze.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun
exactly.
tequila soda.
Yeah.
It's a really.
We're trying to get into Costco now.
A really fucking good LaCroix. Yeah.
Exactly.
This podcast will achieve that for you. We have a direct line to Costco.
All right. What's a green cocktail?
Green cocktail. It's our best seller. It's called the Supergrass. It was named after the band.
Oh, you indie hipster.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Gen X hipster in the house.
So that one, it's lemongrass, mezcal, pandan, mango, lime. It's kind of just got all the buzzwords, I guess, but it's delicious.
Really good.
Super fun.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's like 17 hashtags and a cocktail.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's green.
Yeah.
You'll be healthy.
Lemongrass, this is mine. That's my Thai food. I put lemongrass in my stock that I make at home.
Great.
That sounds so good. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm going in for number 2. So
orange guy
that
there.
is.
The orange one is the Ward 8. That's a whiskey cocktail based on an old drink, but that orange juice sucks in cocktails, and that drink has orange. They're supposed to have orange juice, but we put a tang. I can't talk. We put tang in there instead of orange juice because why the hell not?
Tang, you are such a genius. I mean, that's my childhood in a glass. And you remember getting the big powdered, like it was shaped kind of like a I don't know, a genie bottle or whatever the hell it was. You know, it was shaped
Yeah,
like
it was a weird.
yeah, it was shaped like somebody had a
distinctive
figure.
shape.
You know, like it was like
Yes.
some weirdo's like, what if I made this glass look like a shapely woman? You know, I swear to God. And you would get it was a powder, and you would just dump it in, and they'd be like 2 teaspoons, and you'd be like 4, 6. You know, that was.
I remember commercials. They
it
had
was
like
the
really
best.
crazy commercials, right?
Wasn't it like a NASA thing too?
It was an accident. Yes.
Yeah, it's like something that's wild.
Did you know there's things you cannot eat in space? One of which is right here.
Bread?
Bread.
Really?
Porqué?
Because they can't have any bread or anything like that. Because in space, if any of the crumbs got in the instrumentation, they would ruin the entire space shuttle. Yes, you can't have anything that would possibly crumb.
Dang.
I know, right?
that's wild.
You're gluten free immediately when you go into space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Wow.
Anyways,
Added to the list
So-
of reasons I will never go to space.
That's why they aged.
aside
They
from
needed bread.
my own education,
yeah, right. The other ones.
Cactus cooler. You said that's whiskey. That's Tang.
Yeah, so the Ward 8 has whiskey in it. The Cactus Cooler is the other cocktail. It's
Okay, got it.
Number 2 or 3 bestseller.
Yeah.
Like everything, all people want is tequila. So that one's chili vodka from St. George, and then tequila, Cactus Cooler, and lime juice. So-
Awesome. I want to get back to the Ward 8 and the Tang. Why does orange juice suck in cocktails?
It's just not a lot of character.
it's just flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the 3 bears. It's like you've got, lime juice, lemon juice, too tart, too much acid, grapefruit, too bitter.
Yep.
Orange juice. It's great by itself. It doesn't add any element.
it's already too balanced.
It's already too mediocre in the
It's
middle
the
for a
khaki
cocktail.
pants
Yeah.
of juices.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's like it doesn't do much.
yeah.
I never thought of that.
It doesn't really bring anything.
It's
Like
a Troy Johnson of
Troy.
juices.
I wouldn't say that.
He said it doesn't do much.
Troy fishes for compliments.
Like pineapple's got stuff.
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like
And
it's got
pineapple could
texture.
overpower on its own. So here's
Yeah.
the things that are so distinctive. That's the best for cocktails because that's what you're mixing and matching to each other. But things that stand on its own, too flat.
I mean, anytime you're making refreshing cocktails, you want a balance of acid and sugar.
Yeah.
And if it's just orange juice that doesn't really lend any of, it's already balanced with
Right.
a little bit of acid and a little bit of sugar. It just kind of lands flat in a drink.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And it doesn't have a ton of texture, so it's just okay.
And it's very sugary already.
So,
Yeah.
so you've got 2 of the city's best bartenders in San Diego sitting here at this table. And what they just told you is don't put orange juice in your cocktail, put Tang. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, a practical 1980s NASA freeze-dried ice cream kind of tip from a couple guys who know what the hell they're doing. That's awesome. Okay, so we went through the cocktails. This turkey sandwich is delicious. That is really good. Okay, you brought me a turkey sandwich, avocado.
Avocado, sprouts, lettuce, bacon. Basically, it's our club sandwich. We use bread from Prager Brothers for
That's-
this one.
that's
so
why it's good. You gotta have
that's
good
why
bread. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So,
Another
yeah.
tip from us to break Prager Brothers, which you've heard before. Best Carlsbad, I think. Based in Carlsbad, Encinitas? No, Carlsbad. One of the best bakeries in town. Couple Brothers. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
And then we brought our Italian sub, which we just wanted to make a really classic Italian sub. I mean, Mona Lisa does one of the best ones in town, but
This one
not
definitely
gonna-
gives it a run for its money. It's kind of perfect. Not gonna lie.
we're not going to compete with them. But
No.
it's classic.
But I want to show up to their party.
Yeah.
I want to be somebody there.
we want to be there. So, and then the bread for that one's from Bread and Sea.
Okay.
So that's like our hoagie roll that we use. We use all Bread and Sea stuff.
We
A
had
recent podcast guest.
We had Charles. If you missed the Bread and Sea episode, you really should listen to it. He was a B-rate horror movie director way back in the
saw some of that,
80s
yeah.
or 90s. I mean, he did one. It was called Mother's Day. It was called Mother's Day. It was supposedly, and it's one of the most psychosexual horror movies in American history, doing a lot of things that you cannot do now, and any
Especially
kind of,
not with your mother.
yeah, right. So and then he
went to bread.
and then he went into bread. So he said, and the greatest story is he said he was at Cannes, and he was hanging around all these pretentious movie people and hated all the movies. He started to hate the industry, and so he'd duck out at the end of it and just go into a little bakery in France, and like convince the guy to let him learn, how to make bread, and that's why he brought European style bread to Hillcrest. Anyways, great bread. Okay, and then a Waldorf, a throwback.
Yeah. So I'm a Waldorf's a classic salad.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have greens in it, technically. It's just
But we're in
mayonnaise.
San Diego. You got to put greens and everything.
Yeah, we got to put greens and everything. So it's just mayonnaise and stuff, you know? So
Mayonnaise and stuff.
that's all it is.
Oh, please
So-
open up your next restaurant. Call it mayonnaise and stuff.
Actually, that would, that
Put
would
it on the list.
crush.
I would crush it. I would show up to mayonnaise and stuff at least once a month.
Yeah. It'd be a very split audience. Half people would hate it, but
All right. So, I mean, I think we've basically covered it all. This is our spread. Thank you so much for showing up, gentlemen. Welcome to Happy Half Hour. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers. You mentioned the foods from Lou's Deli, right?
yeah.
Okay. I did not. Oh, I did not mention
Yeah.
okay. So this food.
There's a part 2.
Okay, got it. Jackie, you explained it because this is one of your favorite new spots.
It is one of my favorite new spots. I don't know too much about it other than it exists, and you guys had the storefront from when you took over from Streetcar, right? And so you just wanted to start like a New York style deli.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there more
They're
to the
like, no.
story?
No,
They're
we
like,
did
no,
not.
this is the part of the story I know.
We inherited this. We didn't know what the hell to do with it. That's
Well,
the
there were
story.
the space that we took over from Streetcars is like an L shape, and so in between where like the kitchen goes off the back side where
Yeah.
you don't see it,
Yep.
and then there was bathrooms in between, and then this was kind of a storage unit. I guess they called it the milk bar. I don't know what
It was the milk
I mean,
bar. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Did it
So-
have the window already? To
We
the
put a
street?
window
You put the
in.
window in. Okay.
So the idea was like, there's no like grab and go. I mean, not that we're doing pre-made sandwiches, but there's no bodega sandwich, like deli, I don't know, culture in San Diego.
Yeah.
No.
So we're like, let's just do something that's easy. We can, hopefully get a couple bucks in the door.
Yep.
Pay for our prep that's happening anyways during the day.
Yeah.
With the cocktails to go law, we can sell booze to go.
Oh, that's right. You can still do that.
So we're like, let's just
You can still sell booze to go. I
actually think I didn't totally know
I
that.
didn't totally know that either.
So-
Are you going to be in trouble? Or do we need to delete this part of the podcast?
Possibly.
maybe. Yeah.
It's a
Is
gray
that
area.
like in play right now? Is it being debated?
I heard that they extended it, but
Okay.
I mean part of the
We're not
caveat
narcs,
in
so.
the
But the podcast
language
is.
said you can also sell sealed manufactured products to go.
Okay.
So I took that very liberally and just said we can sell.
You took that
bottles
very
and, like,
literally.
Yeah.
literally, essentially, and like. Not, I mean, I am liberal, but whatever. But we're able to sell stuff to go,
Yeah.
and so we do a lot of single barrels and private, batches of stuff, and
Awesome. So you set up a window on, you're on 30th, right?
that side is on Lincoln,
That side's on Lincoln. It's 30th and Lincoln.
but 30th and Lincoln right on the corner.
Okay,
So,
got it. So deli sandwiches to go, damn good bread, good stuff. And then you can also get a cocktail to go as well. And it is, you're right. The deli counter culture in San Diego is not where any of us would like it to be.
No, as someone who grew
New York?
up in New York, listen, nowhere has to be the same as anywhere else. And one of the beautiful things about this country we live in is that each geographic region has its own eating
We
culture.
kick the shit out of their cocktails.
But
they're
the
cocktails.
truth,
They're
the
tacos.
truth is that deli culture is a beautiful thing. Being able to get an amazing breakfast sandwich or an amazing lunch sandwich is a beautiful thing. So I am personally really thrilled that Lou's exists now.
Nice. All right. Well, good. I'm glad it's open to we got the sandwiches taken care of. Now let me actually introduce you guys. Again, we talked about these guys in the beginning of the podcast, and but I think I met you at Juniper and Ivy. Wait, which one
That
did
was
I?
me.
That was you.
Yeah.
I get you guys so mixed up because you're kind of like the stepbrothers.
We've
you
been
know?
together. We've been we show up to interviews in tuxedos all the time.
And Christian, where did you and I first meet each other? Because you guys have both. These guys have both worked at some of the most raved about restaurants in town. The restaurants and the places that gave a damn about cocktails, gave a damn about food. They hired you guys, to
Kind of invented the scene.
Yeah, you were there, kind of like when the cocktail scene was kind of taking off. I'm sure good cocktails, reasonable, were being made 25 years ago by a couple different places. But, I would say the craft cocktail movement really kind of took off in 2007, 2008 in San Diego?
Yeah, I moved here in 2008, and that was when we kind of were jumping in. We were running before we were walking, but
Yeah. Where did you land originally?
I came in from Spokane, Washington, and my buddies were open in El Dorado, which
Yeah.
then became Consortium Holdings.
LD.
Small group here.
Nate.
Yeah, Nate.
Okay.
So Nate and Marshall and Matt, we've been friends since we were 4 years old.
Oh, no way. I didn't realize that. So if anybody doesn't remember this, El Camino was, they took it was a rough bar in downtown East Village.
Oh, what was it? Hong Kong?
It was a Hong Kong club.
Yeah.
And they redid it. And that was one of the first places where they were just serving like cocktails and a bunch of kids from the music scene and whatnot. And they were serving craft cocktails, doing craft cocktail shots, I think, even, in there. So I didn't realize that you were part of that.
Bartenders, all that. Yeah.
No longer there. It became part of the CH projects and they eventually had to close it down. I mean, and East Village has its own, problems, obviously. But I didn't realize that was where you started. Where did I meet you then?
I don't know. I mean, we met at
You're
Noble
like, Troy,
Experiment.
I don't mark this on my calendar when I met you.
Like, it could have been anywhere, right?
June
2011.
It was cloudy out, I think. I don't know. I mean,
Where was the first place that you really made your name?
So Eric and I met at Noble Experiment.
That's what it
So
was.
we were working there 2010.
Yeah.
And then we went and opened Craft and Commerce together. And then I ended up running Craft and he started running Noble.
Yeah.
And then we opened, Eric was like the consulting guy at Sycamore, but then I went over there as well. So we opened Sycamore Den.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, we kind of went and did our own thing. So I went to Bankers Hill after that.
Okay.
And then I went to Bracero from there.
Yeah.
So it could have been
God, with
Bracero maybe, with Javier.
Javier Placencia and Claudette, who's now got Lulu up in...
They've worked nowhere, in case you couldn't tell. It's very, very flat resumes.
My
over
God,
here.
you guys... I mean, you looking back at your resume, do you ever feel like that? I mean, it's just slutty.
Yeah, I look back and I'm like,
In a good way.
I need to go to bed.
It's like, but in a good way. It's like A-list slutty.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
is.
I did that.
I
I
mean,
did all that.
I mean, all those and all those places, and for people who don't necessarily know the context at home, I'm talking from somebody who knows the context or studying it for so long. But I mean, you guys, those were part of the places that like put San Diego on the map. And there was the front of the house and there was the back of the house. And the beginning of like restaurant touring, the front of the house wasn't a like chefy kind of place. It wasn't an ingredients focused kind of place. It was like, look, let's get you a little lit before we serve you some goodish food. But where the good ingredients and the thought and the science and everything else was happening was in the back of the house, and that was esteemed, and bartenders were just there to kind of lube you up. And that really changed really kind of when you guys were coming into it.
Yeah, because right before Noble, I was working at the Pearl Hotel, and then I was doing real estate as well. And then I finally I don't know.
Why'd you get out of real estate?
I hated my career, but I liked my job.
Got it. Yeah,
So I just
yeah.
changed.
Right. And by that you mean like being like you were doing hotels and that kind of stuff, or?
I was selling. I was on the retail side, so like the initial like Unleashed stores from Petco. Like I put those in a bunch of spots.
Okay,
and then,
got it.
And I'd bartended years before that, and like did hotels and stuff, but.
You can't juggle
I
money.
couldn't get out of bed in the morning, and it was during the recession. I'm like, I can't call 30 nail salons to try and put them in some little spot I know they're going to fail at.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just like soul sucking, and I was like, this sucks. So I got out. I had like my family basically gave me an intervention, like, you suck.
Oh yeah,
right. Like, you go to work and you're stoked, and then that was like right when like Noble was like starting to open up, and. So I started at Noble like maybe a month or so after, and I was just like, I'm wrapping up my real estate gig. And
so you didn't know what was coming next. You were just like, I've done this before. This is happening. Let's see what's up for now.
I'd started bartending again just to like
interaction
instead of burning through savings, because I was, I mean, it's 100% commission.
Trust,
so you're
we
just
are
like
familiar.
Instead of listening to Cure songs alone in the dark, I decided to go bartend and actually meet some people and have some happiness in my life.
So I was like, I actually 2 summers in a row I bartended at the Lafayette way back in the day.
Oh, got it.
And my wife was working before she was my wife, but we were whatever together. She was working at Neighborhood, and then I got a job at the Pearl, and then from there we went to the opening night at Noble, and then I started talking to Anthony. He's like, dude, come on board here.
Yeah.
So
That's back when you guys were sawing ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so therapeutic.
So
I miss that.
I mean, that's like the opening scene of Frozen, the movie. You got a kid?
Yeah.
That's genuinely.
I've sang all their songs here.
Right.
Yeah.
I was playing it in my car this morning with my 3-year-old.
Oh, you're in it.
I'm in it, man.
Yeah.
But they were back when you guys started. It was genuinely. I remember Anthony telling me that you guys would have a massive block of ice because the technology didn't really exist. I mean, those ice machines were like $75,000 or whatever.
We'd get like 300-pound blocks, chainsaw into slabs, and then from there just cut them down each day. 2 hours of ice cutting before shift.
No way.
Yeah.
2 hours?
Yeah.
You were Christoph.
We were doing,
Were you like
I was doing
ripped?
12-hour shifts.
Were you just ripped as
Yeah.
hell? That's like a lot of work.
No, I mean, I've never been ripped. I wish I was.
I don't know. I just feel like 2 hours a day would do it for me. I don't know.
I drink a lot, so it's right the
Yeah,
opposite.
fair
way.
enough, fair enough, yeah.
I thought you said you were feeding me drinks.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh, you're gonna really like that one. But can you try the pickle beer? I was sliding that in front of you
Okay, thank you.
to
No, you did feed me
subtly signal.
Okay.
you should try it.
That was crazy back in the beginning. Then, so I mean, when you guys were really starting the craft, scene. I mean, I'm not trying to make you guys into gods, here, but I mean, we're all like kind of just figuring it all out.
I think like Noble changed like our mindset for me. I'm probably him too. Like
Yeah.
just the way we thought about bartending. Like before it was just like kids like getting drunk and like making good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once we started working there, it like changed our mindset. It was like, oh, we could actually make a career out of this. Like we were looking at it more like a kitchen, like, and it was fun. Like everything about it was, like making new cocktails and knowing about them and learning like balance, that was huge for us, I think.
Holy shit, that's
Isn't that
good.
great?
That pickle beer is good, huh?
Pickle beer, Donna's
Love you,
pickle
Donna.
beer.
Yeah.
Who's
I
Donna?
have never had this before.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
know who Donna is?
Donna's
Yes.
our buddy's mom.
Hell yeah.
She's awesome.
That's fucking
Wait, this
so
is
cool.
this is your
Her
buddy's mom's
Instagram
beer?
is drunk mom 9.
It is not.
It used to be drunk mom 69, but she thought it was offensive.
I love that
she's hilarious.
I love it. Drunk
Is
mom.
she
goes
local?
on a-
Is this a whole local operation?
She lives in Philly. So
Okay.
our buddy Josh he was born in Philly, grew up in Philly, lives in LA. I met him when I was working with this group called the Bon Vivants, but they started Trick Dog in San Francisco.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So he was the opening bar back, became bar manager.
And his mom is just so
And
iconic.
then, his mom's awesome.
Amazing.
Dude, that is.
It's delicious. This pickle beer honestly fucking rocks.
I mean, that makes so much sense. I mean, come on, it's pickleback.
Yeah,
you
it's
know, it's pickleback but with beer instead of whiskey.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's better.
yeah.
It's
nice.
the dimension you want in a light beer. If you are like someone who wants more but doesn't want to like go the full IPA or the full alcohol, it's perfect
Yeah.
because it's just 4.4%.
It is good.
Lovely.
So,
A
okay.
sick michelada.
Oh, bad. Because you're going to get some brine in that anyways.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I should almost actually back up and restart this entire intro. Whatever. We're just all over the place.
Are we still in the
give me a
intro?
pickle beer. So our guest today, Christian Siglin, Eric Johnson, you guys started up Happy Medium together. Happy Medium in North Park has become like, when these guys open up a bar together, and I mean this, authentically, not in an overhyping situation. Everybody that I knew was like, and us too, we covered it. And it was like, these two have been around, not forever, but forever. You're old as fuck.
I'm old as
For a
fuck.
good long time.
I'm catching up.
No, but it was news. I remember like when that news came out in our food chat, we were like, oh, this is news. Like
This
they're
is
doing
gonna
it,
be great.
therefore this
Yeah.
is news.
You took a look at it. You had to saw your own ice, and you had to lose your soul to a different career and find yourself in a well thought out glass of something. And you guys really saw the evolution of the craft cocktail scene. Why did you guys like each other? Why did you guys end up really gravitating towards one another? What makes you guys work well enough together to open up your own place, blood, sweat, and tears?
Commingle funds.
I know.
It's a big commitment.
It's a good question. I think, like when we were Craft and Commerce and Noble at that time, that's kind of when we were like, we could open this, we could do this. And we started looking, and I think we bought like a liquor lottery license probably in like 2013, 14.
I think before.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Maybe 12.
Yeah. It was like $16,000, and we did it with like the chef at Craft and Commerce too.
Yeah.
And we were, like I said, we were running before we were walking. We were like, oh, we can do this, and we started talking to the Padres, and we actually had like sit down at like big table in the Padres Stadium with like the owner.
Wow. Yeah.
And we were like, what are we doing? And we were gonna open a
John
bar
Morris.
underneath.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna open a bar underneath the field.
Like a
for,
speakeasy underneath.
Yeah.
Jeff Morad, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a regular of ours at Kraft that lived in Little Italy, came in all the time. He was from New York. And he was like, I want to talk to you about doing a bar at the stadium. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And this was back.
That's
What year was
Yeah,
this?
when was this?
This was like 2011,
13,
12,
Yeah.
So this was really.
probably.
Is it before the stadium was good?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. This was before
Before the team was good.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
and I believe
Fair.
I don't believe that they were really getting into food at that point. I think
Right,
that was like
yeah.
No, it was
2015
still earlier.
or 16.
Yeah.
So we looked at some spaces that they're like, we could convert this into whatever. And they had like basically a whole kitchen below the team store. I forget what street that's on. And they're like, we could convert this into a bar, but you can't put a hood in. So our chef was like, we'll just do like a raw bar. And then we had a whole concept, and we were going to call it Periscope, because we're like,
Oh my
it's like
God.
a submarine style bar. that
Dude,
like,
we got
whatever.
cheated.
So I don't know. It could have been super cool. It could have been really fun.
I mean, after so you have like 3 months to find a lease on when you get one of those.
Oh, okay.
And like we spent all our time like trying to get in Pottery Stadium. Pottery Stadium's like fully liquor licensed. Like at the end,
they've
of all
got
this,
it. Yeah.
at the end of all this, we were like, oh well, our license
I guess we
doesn't
need
really
to open
matter.
two
Let's just give this
places now.
Yeah, so
are-
learning times.
that is God. I want to cry. I want to laugh.
That's honestly so endearing.
Yeah, and then Arslan got ours. He was like next in line when we lost it. Arslan got it and opened another spot. Yeah,
So what did your liquor license become? Which spot?
I think it was either Ironside or Underbelly.
yeah, one of the two.
that was
I think it was Underbelly.
That was a good
That's
one.
where you got
That
it.
was a good one, yeah.
That was
Just helping out the boss again.
I think back in the day, we worked well together. We always had fun, like working, and then we were also playing soccer together because we were playing co-ed teams, and like we both grew up playing soccer like competitively, and
Got it. Okay.
Our
so
ladies
like we
played.
just
Still got a mullet.
Yeah, I mean, the soccer rocker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are like battle tested in multiple ways. Like you played sports together, you've been behind the bar together. It's
traveled together.
Yeah, okay, so
Which
you
is
guys
like,
you're
that's
solid.
the true test, you know.
Yes.
All right, give me your best travel story together.
Ooh, jeez.
Like what did you
Mexico.
do?
We just
No?
The Mexico story was I was talking about. We threw a party down in like Rosarita. Is it Rosarita?
Rosarito.
Rosarito.
Yeah. See, we're
Ranchero.
Gringos.
Feminize it if you want.
Gringos. But we had like a little group called Rumbling Tins, and we were doing like consulting, and then we were like throw parties, and we got like a bus full of people, and took it like his what was it
my mom or my wife's dad's best friend owned a hotel down there, and he's like, yeah, do a takeover. You can-
Drunk Mime 10.
it was called
Montana.
Bobby's by the Sea.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what it's called now,
I don't even
but
know what that is, but it sounds great.
and we
sent
were
it.
not allowed back.
What did you do?
We sent
I
it.
think someone
there was
almost
there was
died.
there was
It
a lot
was
of like
crazy.
LA people that came down too that were just crazy.
Yeah, just
like,
blame LA.
People almost died. It was
Right. Yeah.
The riffraff from LA.
TMZ may not even know who we are, but they're going to find their way down
They'll
here.
find out. Yeah, there should have been something reported.
He didn't
So,
die. All right.
He didn't. Luckily, did not die. But yeah, it was a wild night.
Yeah.
So
And so you guys have been doing it for a while, obviously, at the top of your game. Happy Medium. When did the idea for Happy Medium come up? When were you like, okay, I mean, obviously you were involved, or you are involved, Fernside, which was like, kind of hailed as like, a neighborhood spot. You guys were like the people that actually worked in the industry opened up their own spot, and it felt, just good. It just felt like the people that we've been seeing right across the bar from us, that weren't just like, nameless, money, were coming in and actually doing a spot. And it was pretty good for South Park, and then did you just love managing people and paying rent and paying bills and
so
jockeying
much.
foot costs so much that you were like,
incredible.
You're like, let's do it over and over and smaller each time.
It's like glorified babysitting, but it's
for sure.
It is what it is.
I can barely babysit myself.
But I was a small partner at Fernside, but
Okay.
a lot of the look, feel, ideas, they weren't 100% mine, but there was a lot. I contributed a lot to that place.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I just, on the back end of it, it's like, well, I'm still killing myself at this place. Why don't we just
Double down.
go do our own thing eventually,
Yeah.
I mean,
Where
we've
it's
been
like-
trying to do it for since Craft Converse Day, so 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it was always going to end here, right?
Yeah.
So where did
Or
you guys
begin again here.
Yeah, and where were you guys when you decided, or did you just call each other? Did you text each other? Were you DMing each other?
So I don't even know how it fully came about. I can't even find like the emails or I don't know, text messages, whatever. But somehow it was like the spot came up, and I called him, and I was like,
I think
Dude.
Nate hit you up, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Benedetta's got a spot."
Nate Benedetto.
Yeah.
Nate Benedetto sells every restaurant in San Diego.
So I think he hit me up. Was like, I got something interesting in North Park, and I was like, "Cool, what's up?" Like, I'll sign whatever NDAs or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I went and I was like, "Holy shit!" This real estate in general, like from a real estate background, I was like, "Corner spots are great."
Yep.
The real estate in North Park is killer.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of North Park hadn't really been activated much.
Yeah. Nope.
You know, north of like, I mean, CoinOp did a good job in like kind of activating, but that's kind of where it stopped.
So what you're talking about here for you guys listening at home is like 30th and University. That stretches. I mean, right along there, a lot of it happens. But I mean, it's like the Big
Even
Bang,
one
right?
block up,
Yeah.
Lincoln is where it kind of started to fall apart till you hit El Cajon, right? For a long time.
Like Red Wing was there, and it wasn't always the staple that it is now.
Yeah.
But Red Wing has always been there. Like, come to find out, I was surfing with a buddy of mine a couple of years ago and telling him what he was like living in Costa Rica. He has a surf camp down there, and he's like, "You have a bar in North Park? Where?" I'm like, "Oh, we're 2 doors away from Red Wing." He's like, "My dad owned Red Wing."
No way.
I'm like, holy shit.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, dude, what a small world. So, so it's just been, Red Wing wasn't always the Red Wing it is today,
Yeah.
but now it's thriving and doing well, and
That
it's
part,
cool to see
that part was expanding. You saw that it
Yeah.
was a reasonable place to go, not lose all your money. You know, I mean, you're like, okay, it's probably going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they have
after,
Jell-O
after
shots.
pandemic too, like, North Park kind of took a little downslope there. You know,
Yeah,
like,
a lot of
going
things
in there, I was
closed.
like, you could see it get hit, and we were
Yeah.
like, this is a little scary,
For sure.
But
You
I
do-
think when we were opening, like 2 months before we opened, Saigon opened the coffee shop.
They actually, right when we got the keys, it was right after 4th of July,
Oh, yeah,
2023, I think.
Yeah.
They did their grand opening that weekend, and there was like a line down the block, and we're like,
Saigon coffee, if you guys have not
Holy
had
shit.
this, it's fantastic. It's a Vietnamese coffee. Yeah, and it created a stir.
and we're like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is
It was great.
crazy.
It was
These
So-
over-caffeinated people need to be brought down a little bit. Come on in my place.
I can't. Their coffee's too strong for me. And
such
I can
a
take
It's
a lot of
intense. I
caffeine.
love it, but it's
yeah,
you're
it's a
in
lot.
it for like the next day and a half.
Yeah, if I drink one on Monday, I'm good till Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
I might
So-
need an intervention. I love it.
So they brought, so they started those kinds of places, especially after the pandemic, started bringing a little bit more business over there. You're like, okay, good, thank God, we got
Yeah.
a place that there's a little bit. Again, rising tides lift all boats are a lot of people's thing.
Yeah.
So what was it like getting Happy Medium open? I mean, this is really your guys' first. This is your first place together. You were a little part of Fernside. You're now in it. Like you got to do all the leases. You got to do all the.
Post-COVID era
Give me,
and
give
all
me the
of that.
stories. Give me stories from the open.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like obviously negotiating on the space, not knowing what we know now. We're
Right.
like, cool, yeah, let's.
That sounds good.
How much you want for it? Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Here's some stipulations. Here's some of the things that we want to like make sure we, some caveats. Like, I was actually originally supposed to be part of Chicken Hawk with Andrew and the guys up there, and then they got, their liquor license held them up for 3 years now. So,
I know.
so I'm like, all
Heard
right, well,
about that.
I'm going to make sure we put a caveat in there saying that we aren't going to no money changes hands until the liquor license fully transfers. So that was like a definite.
I'm guessing
thing
a
that
lot
we
of
put
people
in.
don't know to put that in their leases.
Yeah, or even like just
I
like
mean, some
just
people
the
just want to
escrow
operate
portion.
as fast as possible, so
see.
they just don't have it, and they'll operate. That's like
Right.
So that was something for me. I was like, I don't want to be stuck on the spot for the next 3 years. And there was always this guy Lucky that protested everything and held everything up. And I don't know if he like moved out of North Park or whatever, but he protested every license
There's
that came
always
through.
a neighbor.
So
Yep.
there's always someone.
Yep.
So, our goal is like, let's actually be good neighbors, but I can't make people not protest. So,
Right. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we tied it to that, and then negotiated the deal point, the basic deal points, and then now we're in escrow. And there's a photo that I sent you guys So we ended up doing this cocktail contest. It was like called I don't know, Old Boys, or I don't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
Old boys are fun.
Up in Frankie's?
Yeah.
Up in Ocean.
It sounds like a dating site.
Boys are fun.
It was like
We've been dating for a long time. So
Please love us.
It was up in Oceanside, and we ended up going against each other in the finals. And I think at that point, I'd been golfing all day, and I was like pretty. I was very
3 sheets to the wind.
I was very tuned up, very primed, and I think I ended up winning the contest. But I was with him, and then he's like, "Should we say it?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Fuck it." He's like, "We're opening a bar," and the place just fucking went nuts. And it was like that day, like we went into escrow, and it was like, holy shit. So it was like, now it's like game on.
We got our lawyer that day. He was there. He was like,
Yeah,
"You want
he's
a
like-
lawyer?" I was like, "Sure, I think we need one."
After announcing it, actually signing and
Yeah.
When
pre-escrow,
you
yes.
need to get a lawyer, you have officially
I was
made
like,
it.
we're gonna need you. I'm just looking at us.
Yeah, we're like,
I love this. So here it is. You guys have been in the scene. You've helped architect the scene. You know, I mean, I'm not godifying you. That's a little bit awkward, you know, but you were definitely two of the key people that helped build our cocktail scene, our craft cocktail scene. And you go head to head in a damn competition after the pandemic, and you're both are in the finals. You win. This is an important distinction, I feel. You know, I just need to say this.
Yeah.
Eric. Yeah. Christian wins it. And he's like, "Look, I'll take you along for the ride. All right. That's it." And he's like, "Eric, I'll let you come with me on this magical ride." That's the winner today.
I think we made the same cocktail, and I was like, "We can't make the same cocktail," so I put something else in it.
we think a lot alike.
That's
So
actually really poetic.
yeah,
I
it
was
was,
like, "Hold on!" I just like threw some dashes of shit.
And you announce to the crowd, and everybody goes nuts because these are people that if you follow the
Yes.
craft cocktail scene, like
Yeah.
you're like, hey, you guys are you're not again kind of celebrities in this scene, you know, like you're like, oh my god, that's the guy. I've been trying to get it, you know, learn from him for a long time. You're sitting there, and you open it up, and you get to look out of those people that are actually stoked, and you're like, you know, I'm glad I quit commercial real estate. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm glad. What did you quit?
When did I quit?
Yeah, I don't know. Why'd you get into it?
I mean, I've always been in it.
Okay.
I'm from Spokane. We just drink, and so I was
True
like,
believer.
In Spokane, there's like a couple things to do, and one of them's drinking. So I was like, I'd rather make money than spend it on drinking. So.
I think I know what the other one is too. But
I don't know. You guys made the same cocktail. That's cute as hell. You guys are cute as hell.
yeah, and that's a happy medium right there.
Yeah.
Tell me about the name.
I mean, he's got a ton of names in the list, and I think Mayo stuff is probably going to be added.
Mayo and stuff is definitely it. Yeah.
adding. Yeah, definitely adding.
But I mean, I think we were, you know, like we both knew kind of what we want. Is like we go to like really nice. We travel a lot. We go to like nice bars and stuff, and we're not huge on like really over fancy cocktail stuff
Yeah,
anymore.
same.
Just, you know, there was a time when we loved that, and now we're kind of like eh. But I mean, we appreciate it all,
For sure.
You know, and then we love a dive bar too. So we're like, you know, we want something like a happy medium. And I think he said that, and I was like, that's it. That's the name.
Yeah.
The happy medium.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's us.
And that's, you know, it's funny because that's in any evolution, I think, of a craft that you get into. You go so deep into it. When I covered music, you know, it was my job to listen to 300 CDs every single month, you know, and I would just demo them. They're all brand new demos, you know, and you listen to 30 seconds of a song, oh, man. And so it was the most insane job I ever had. And when you finally get that deep into it, now the only thing that could turn me on was like klezmer metal from the Ozarks. You know, I mean, it was like I was so far down.
You're deep in
And
there.
I was so I literally cast by every night. So and eventually when I quit, I switched into food. Oh man, I listened nothing but REO Speedwagon for like a year. It was great. I'm like, just give me some
Well,
big.
it's like when chefs are like, yeah, on my way home, I go and grab a bag of Jack in the Box tacos.
Right, exactly. And we're not saying that your cocktails are Jack in the Box cocktails,
No,
but they
they
don't
are
have
not.
to be 13-star Michelin with like, I mean, tweezers everywhere and smoke and, you know, and mirrors. You can make a quality product in a neighborhood setting. I guess that's what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's like Happy Medium was a name I actually suggested at Fernside, and they were like, "We hate it," and I was like,
Well, okay.
"All right, cool."
So you
Put that one back in the vault.
Yeah, so I was like, "Well, it's gonna stay on the list, whatever."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, ultimately, it was like, I don't know, just seeing the direction of like where cocktails are going and like how expensive they are, and I know what people are paying for all the products they're using. I'm like, you guys are ripping people the fuck off,
Right.
And it's like it's offensive to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
add
I
a
can make
surcharge on it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and then there's surcharges and all this other shit. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna charge me $20 for a drink, like, give me really good products. Mm-hmm. And like, don't nickel and dime every little thing. So our thing with like Happy Medium, it's like we wanted to take the best, like it's all math. So we can make our drinks as cost effective as we need to, but like I want to pass some of that savings on to the consumer. And like, I want people to like not blink an eye at drinking 2 or 3 cocktails when they come in, where you get sticker shock at these other places. Like, fuck it. Our bill was like
$20 a cocktail. I mean,
They've been shrinking affordable again.
$100
just make fun for affordable.
Make
Like
anything
going out
affordable
should be
again.
fun, you know.
Make fun affordable is another name.
And it
hats are coming.
shouldn't just like I don't know. It shouldn't take a whole paycheck at one bar on a Friday night. You know? It's just crazy.
It really
So,
has become that. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so this thing right here is absolutely delicious. What was the name
It's
of it again?
so good.
It's a Supergrass.
That's the Supergrass. Supergrass was a fantastic band, by the way. You guys have immaculate taste.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. You can only they kind of sing the same song over and over and over, you know. But
Some of those bands do.
It was a great song.
Yeah.
That is so. How much would a cocktail like this cost me then? A Happy Medium.
We charge $13.
Okay, 13. So you're way under. So that's usually. I mean, average now I would say 16.
There's no tax, no surcharge. It's flat.
That's flat.
Yeah. So it's just $13. Like,
Yeah,
that's
got
what
it.
you walk out the door with. I mean, hopefully you're tipping, but
Right.
you know, at the end of the day,
Right.
it's $13. So we started with $12 and $13 drinks.
Yep.
And then with minimum wage and a couple other things, we just took the $12 to 13.
Yep.
And just held the line, and we're like, let's just, unless we really have to, if these tariffs all of a sudden jack tequila prices up crazy, or
I know.
then
that's today.
we'll have to it's today. So great.
What I know. What are you guys looking at? I mean, with that, I mean, with the tariffs, is it going to hit you guys reasonably hard or no? I mean, you guys will probably just
We
adjust.
don't know yet
Yeah.
necessarily.
If it goes to 25, are we? It's supposed to be
I might
25,
know-
right? Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be 25 on. I mean, that's limes. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all of our produce.
Avocados.
That's
Yeah,
everything.
everything.
All of our produce
Yeah.
comes from Guanajuato, Central
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, we grow a lot of stuff here, but we also import a ton of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So, and especially being this close to the border, we get mostly Mexican produce.
Yep.
So, I mean, but it is what it is. I don't want to
Yeah.
go down that rabbit hole, but
we'll figure it out.
But I mean, we charged, and when we opened Sycamore Den together back in the day, that was what
Yeah.
we charged back then. It was like, like this is what it should be.
Yeah.
It's like people are going out more than once a week. You
Yeah.
know, that's what we want. We want this neighborhood to come out 2-3 times a week and enjoy themselves. You know.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like even homes in North Park over $1 million. You know, so
Yeah.
Nobody's.
Which is kind of a revolutionary concept, like in this day and age, post-COVID, inflation, everything. Like people, the concept of like the neighborhood go-to spot has evaporated a little bit. I feel like, right?
I mean, I think Chicago and the Midwest is like the mecca of like neighborhood bars.
Yeah, it
like
is.
these Wisconsin bars, like they're neighborhood staple. I think Turf Club is one of those bars in San Diego that like you tell people about. Like I was at Turf Club, like I lived in Golden Hill for 13 years.
Same.
And people were like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, "Golden Hill." They're like,
Where?
I'm like,
Turf Club.
You know, Turf Club. They're like, "Oh yeah," like they define that neighborhood. You know,
When Guy Fieri
And-
came to town for the first time, I took him there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like classic, and those don't exist anymore. You know, and like, I mean, there's more neighborhoods in North Park now than there ever used to be. I moved to North Park in 2000, and now there's Altadena. I'm like, that didn't exist before. You know, like those weren't a thing. It was just North Park.
They're like, these are the more crafts.
You
Yeah.
know, it's funny. I just got an email from one of my favorite wineries, vintners, Gianni Bamono. Actually makes a great Blaufränkisch. It was originally like the wine.
love a
that's-
Blaufränkisch.
Do you? Obviously, you guys
I love
are bar guys.
Blaufränkisch
German
too.
Pinot.
It's
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good pizza wine.
So he makes these great wines, and he's over in Miranda. I just got the city to rename our part of the neighborhood. I think it's Point Loma East or Point Loma South or Point Loma Porch. Sorry, Keith, if I'm fucking this up. You know, it's like they do.
They're dividing it up.
Yeah,
Point Loma's getting divided.
Right. He's like, I don't know if Midway necessarily strikes my vibe. You know what I mean? Midway has a certain,
that's how it happens.
has a Home Depot and Adult Emporium sort of feel to it, you know, sometimes, you know, so I think they kind of change it. They're like, North Park, I'm going to do Altadena. You know what I mean? I don't even know if it is in that nice part of it.
It is. That's where all the craftsmen's are right before you get to South Park.
Okay,
it's like very nice.
And nothing against people who have nice homes. God bless you. Probably worked your ass off. But I'm like, Altadena sounds like you were like, nah, I'm not doing North Park anymore. I'm going to do Altadena.
Yeah, we'll be Altadena.
Okay. Anyway, so happy medium homes. You guys get open. Tell me the story about you getting a knife pulled on you. You.
That was Christian. I was watching it from the cameras.
No, really?
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. The first 2 weeks of opening it was probably the most stressful time of, I don't know.
So you guys
definitely our life.
Run. I mean, obviously you've run the front of the house on the program of openings all over the city, but you've never run it from like a business perspective too. So it's an extra layer of chaos, right?
So technically I'm the owner, GM. I started as the bar manager.
PR manager, comms manager,
operating partner.
Yeah, all the things.
So I was doing a bunch of. I mean, he was like full time at SDCM and working there and helping when he could, and then it was just like, all right, this will be to start off. Like, I'll just be boots on the ground and get it going. And so I don't know. So initially we had some chef issues, so that happened. The week after we opened, the city started construction and shut Lincoln down for the next 4 months. So there was construction.
I lived on that corner for the first year of COVID.
So you open up.
I remember that well.
Who doesn't love a dusty sandwich?
Yeah. So there's like piles of gravel and sewer lines and all the stuff. So
the stuff you don't expect, you don't think about. You're like, oh my god, it took us finally to get here. Like we announced
parking.
We announced it when you beat my ass. Sorry, Eric, I'm leaning into this in that cocktail competition.
We're never gonna let you forget.
We were so happy. We were so happy. It took us years. You're like, I finally got here. You're crying. You're stress ball. You're like, oh, and they're like, all right.
Yeah, Tom Gloria's like, sexy streets time. We're coming to your clock. What a nightmare.
I've only won one cocktail competition in my life in Mexico, so I'm an international winner.
You're an international star. That's right, man.
So he smoked everyone in that one too.
So they start. I love that you know that. You remember that one.
Yeah.
See, they're so cute.
I know they really are. You guys are like the odd couple, you know what I mean?
Pretty much.
I'm getting those vibes.
Yeah.
So they start construction right in front of your restaurant right after you open it.
So that starts the Monday after we open. We opened on a Friday and officially a Friday.
You got a weekend in?
And then we had the opening weekend and it's like the lights are fucked up, TV's barely work. Like I don't know, we're just like we got
a consultant chef.
We got to get open. We almost we can't keep paying. You can't lose staff, whatever. So go through all that. So I'm wrecked. So it's the second week, and it's like 6 o'clock, 6:30. This couple at the bar,
on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, on like a Tuesday, and like this couple at the bars had a few too many, starting to be a little rowdy.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the old North Park crowd ish.
Yeah,
we feel you.
Anyway, so I'm like, all right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. We got to go. So I will escort them to the front, get them outside, and then I'm just standing there in the doorway, and they're just throwing every insult, and I'm like, all right, you're just not coming back in. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you can throw anything at me in a whatever.
Yeah, totally. And take down my lineage, set it on fire.
So I finally almost have them like gone, and they're yelling for like 15 minutes.
He's like starting to walk away.
Like, as you're watching the jackhammer go across the street, seeing the dust filter through.
It's very cinematic.
So there's like this girl is just yelling like right in my face, and the guy goes, "Fuck him, he's a bitch. Let's go." And I'm like, thank God.
Not even insulted. You're like, yes,
and
it's
I'm
over.
like, oh, I think this is it. And then some guy on the patio goes, "Why don't you shut the fuck up?"
Oh,
and I'm like, I look, I'm like, no. I look back at the guy, and he pulls out a blade, like a kitchen knife, and I was like, oh, fuck, like full Rambo knife. I'm like, oh fuck. So then we're like, get inside. Who the fuck is this? Oh my God. He's like waving it around and like, whatever. Cops are like, what's going on?
The cop showed up like super fast though. So
The dude's got a knife, dude.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Especially
it was-
during COVID. Interesting.
Yeah. So,
I love how you're like, I respect my police officers that have to protect my
They
restaurant
did-
for the
they
next
did-
7 years.
They did an amazing job. They got
Love
him.
you
Yeah, it
guys.
was great.
Yeah.
They're perfect in every way. My
so that happened.
And
But-
we'll get back to your story. Did I ever tell you guys the story about Claire and I when she was in Brooklyn? She took me to a little wine bar and we heard some breaking something. It was tiny little like sliver, one of those thin ones in
I
Brooklyn.
definitely
right?
have not heard this
And
story.
then, so we're in there late at night, and all of a sudden you hear some glasses breaking. I figure it's just somebody, a server just drops on whatever. I look back, and there's a guy like clearing the bar with his hands. You can tell this is a kind of a mentally troubled man, and he's
kind of badass.
And he's just clearing the bar. And I'm like, whoa, and he starts yelling, and and he goes, and it starts to get heavy, and I'm like, whoa, everybody's kind of like this, and he leaves out the back. And we're
a vibe.
okay, all right, fine. So we start talking again. 5 minutes later, we hear it again. It's him, except he's back with a broom. He's got a broom.
He went Harry Potter on cleaning up after himself.
So this guy,
Honestly, I respect this guy.
angry New Yorker who has probably ingested a multitude of drugs within the last, say, 27 minutes.
Fair to say.
Is clearing this little wine bar with his broom, and it's just tiny little place. People are starting to like wander out.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not funny, but it's really funny.
self-preservation kicks in, and we're like okay, everybody's getting out except for my wife because she's from Brooklyn.
I feel like New York people are pretty chill about it though. They're
Right?
like, oh, it's time to go.
No, even the New Yorkers, they were chill, but they left. Not my wife. Nope. She's like, it'll be fine. We got a good seat at this bar. It never happens. You know what I mean? So finally, he starts. He picks up a bar stool and he throws it at the back of the bar, which is all glass shelves and all the booze. And the shelves go raining down.
Oh, wow.
Like a movie. Like it takes
You
all
saw
three of
this
them
happen?
out. I watched it happen. I'm watching it like, oh my God.
That's a lot of inventory.
PCP is remarkable. And so it starts raining down and he starts taking the broom and starts beating it on the bar. Beating it. And at this point, the bartenders have left. It's me and my wife.
I was going to say, I love that you're still in there.
It's my and my wife. And,
What'd you
and
say?
I'm
Are you
looking at
done?
it, and
You done?
I know, right? And so that's what she was probably saying.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at him, and we're the last ones in there. And I go, babe, I actually grabbed her hand. I go, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. Such a California wuss. I'm like, this is making me feel vaguely irregular. And so I go, he finally,
fantastic.
and I know because if he happens to exit out the front, we're between him and the front.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna have to walk within a foot, 2 feet of me because it's that small of a bar.
He's coming for you, dog.
And so,
your wife will protect you.
well, seriously, I think so at this point. And I'm like, I've never had some more respect for her in my life, And he finally breaks the damn broom. He breaks the damn broom, but he's so jacked up. He has a
spear.
A spear.
Yeah.
He has a shard in his hand, and it's the size of a kitchen knife. And he's like this. He's clenching it so hard, and he looks at it, and he goes, I guess I'm done, And he turns toward us. I'm like, okay, here we go. This is when I die. This is it. Like, this was a great life.
That would have been a crazy story
He
if
walks,
it.
And my wife doesn't run. She doesn't. She's just like, And he walks right by us. I think he was fucking intimidated by her. I think he wasn't intimidated by me. I think he just was like,
I could see
that is one badass woman. She's the only one in here, and he looks really scared. So like, you see some crazy stuff. I guess is the point.
Yeah. I mean, bars, there's so many crazy stories,
Oh yeah.
I heard some crazy stories about the old neighborhood. I heard about a party that got dosed with Molly there. I don't know if I'm allowed to say
God.
this on the podcast, but I heard about this years
a happy
ago.
medium.
No, at neighborhood
Oh,
where they all
okay. All right.
used to work.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that's happened. I've been roofied before.
I wasn't there. I literally, this is a third-hand story.
All right, well, I like that. Before we start slandering innuendo in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we
I
can
have a
cut
friend
that
that
out.
did that on a golf trip.
So, tell me about the butter hand. What the hell happened to the butter hand?
I mean, a lot of stuff happened at Craft and Commerce. It was like so busy, I lived like across the street from Craft and Commerce at that time.
Oh,
So I was
that's a
literally, like,
lifetime. That's a
yeah.
lifestyle.
You were hanging out.
Yeah, I was like, walking home, crawling home basically.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was always the first one in, last one out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd get a lot of crazy people in there. But yeah, this guy came up and like, I went to hand him like his bill or something, right? Or I think I gave him. I was giving him a plate, and he like went to grab it, and then he just like slimed me with butter hands. Like he had butter all over his hands, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what is going?" And I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he's like, kind of laughing, but like a weirdo too. And then I was like, "So
I've been planning this for weeks."
Yeah, and I told him, and then I was like,
He's like, this guy just buttered me. And I was like, what?
What does that mean?
I sort of like kind of laughed.
like he got like up to the elbow and like slid it down, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I think you went and got I was like, go get John. Like, this is weird. And then
this would be John Resnick,
Yeah.
who was managing the place at the time, then opened up June Julian Campfire.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So GM comes out, starts talking to him, and does the same thing.
So the guy apologizes. And he's like, I'm really sorry.
Let me shake your hand.
And he's like, let me shake your hand. And John puts his hand up. He just butters his hand. And then he's like, looks down at his buttered hand. He's like, you're fucking out of here. I just started dying laughing. Oh, it's so funny.
Please tell me you've now done it to other people.
I didn't bring it back. We didn't butter people.
It's like the best Jackass skit. It's
such a
fucking
move.
perfect.
Have you been buttered at Happy Medium before?
Not yet.
I wonder if like a bunch of people are going to go around buttering people.
Salted
Watch out.
butter.
Look at that. Now it's the stories out. Watch out. Yeah. Butter's on the loose.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So what are you, let's talk about like, what is your, we've already talked about orange juice sucks. Tang is great. I mean, not that you use Tang every single time when you need something like that, but that's just one of the
Just
iterations. It's something different. What else what do you tell bartenders when they're coming in? Because you guys have trained and taught so many damn bartenders. I mean, what are some of the core things? And maybe somebody can listen at home too and learn something. Like, what are the main things you're like, never do this or don't, or try to do this, and especially, and probably from a hospitality perspective too, like, because bartending for a while when we were going through the craft cocktail thing, oh man, it became a Portlandia episode, and it was just like
bad.
it was like all the douches of Portlandia in one single spot. It was like how bad can I make myself feel? You know what? I'm not doing it well enough. I'm going to enlist this bartender. Like, I'm sorry, you don't know what a Negroni from South America is, you fucking twit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You don't have big ice?
yeah.
What?
Just medium ice. Get your medium ice out of here. And I love this.
Now we've like put that on customers, and now they're the snooty ones sometimes too.
Right.
It's like we went too far.
Yeah. And I guess you have to, right? It's the pendulum swings, right? You go so deep in it, and you're like, okay, we went into ridiculous.
We help move, the fanciness and that movement, and now we're like, what are you guys doing?
Let's dial this back a
now
little
we're like,
bit.
we're like, what are you guys doing?
You're
now?
like, you
Take the suspenders
Have you
off.
tried Drunk
Like, come
Mom
on.
Nines and pickle beer?
Like, you have mustache
we
wax?
trained a
Come
bunch
on.
of people the wrong way, and now
Yeah.
we're trying to pull back.
Well, and that's, what's really interesting is that I think that I've talked to our salon. Our salon is a owner of CH Projects, who's got, where you guys worked for a long time, and he said the same thing. He's like, the idea was to just do high quality and it did not to be a pretentious jerk about it, like he's like, he had to undo that a lot in the company culture. He was like, I don't want pretension here. I want just good.
It's just like egos just come with the job, too.
Right. Right.
But
All right, but let's get back to anyways, like practical advice and like what do you tell people, like young Jedi bartenders? Christian Siglin, teach me everything you know. I'm glad to be here at Happy Medium. It's my first day. I'd like to be buttered, and I have a knife.
I mean, the first thing is just
butter knife.
say hi to people and look them in the eye. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're a bartender. There's like the mixology standpoint of like, that's just the functionality. Like, if you're making a cocktail, like, that's just part of the job. Just like we do a lot of draft cocktails, and the goal is like, I had a soccer coach a long time ago. And his philosophy was practice hard so the game's easy. So like we do all that hard work up front. We make all these cocktails. We do all this like weird sciencey shit that like I don't want the guests to see.
Yep.
And I just want them to come in and have a really good cocktail.
Yeah.
So the goal is like talk to people, make them feel at home.
Yep.
Make it cheers.
So you could focus on the hospitality aspect.
Focus
of
on
it.
the
Yeah.
hospitality and like actually be a bartender. And I don't think anyone teaches people. I think everyone's teaching people too much on the
Science.
nuts and bolts of like making drinks,
Like the technical aspects.
like the technical side of like just doing the mixology portion of it, which I hate that word, but
We all do, but it's useful. Yeah.
but
right.
like everyone forgot how to be a bartender.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to a bar recently. I'm not going to say which one, but I sat down for 5 minutes before anyone even looked at me. And I know them.
It's super common these days.
And they weren't busy. And I was
Right.
like,
They won't say hi, they won't say goodbye. You know, it's just
there was
like,
someone literally making drinks in front of me. And they didn't even pick
Didn't
their head
look
up to
over
say,
and be
like,
like, hey,
hey, how you doing?
how
I'll
you
be
doing,
right with
man?
you.
It's like going
You
to the doctor. That's why bedside manner is actually like a module that they teach in medical
Yeah.
school now, because they realize that doctors like just weren't connecting with their patients, and they're like, I think they have to. But it's the same. This is a people job. It's a people profession, right? You gotta know people and be able to interact with them.
I mean, the reason people go to bars is hopefully for social interaction.
I'll
you know?
drink at home alone, man. I mean,
Yeah, like-
I go.
Like, if I want to be sad and just drink
I'm
myself
gonna
to
go
sleep,
into my
like,
garage,
I'd
put
rather
a
be
whole-
closer to my bed, you know. But
yeah.
you know, it's like I'm going to go to a bar because I want to like engage with people
Yeah.
and say hi, and I want, you know, if I'm going to spend money, I want someone to at least try put on a fake smile, like be nice to
At
me.
least look at me.
Absolutely.
You know?
I know.
So-
And yeah, that's really true. It's the hospitality, I think, is coming back, right? You know, and that's kind of, you know, are you, who's the natural hospitality? I mean, are you both? You both?
I think we
I think
both,
we're
you know,
we're both.
Yeah.
I
we
think
both work in hotels. We both worked in restaurants, bars. You know.
yeah.
I think like you come in anywhere where we work, and it's like we're going to say hi before we like shove a menu in your face, or like
Right.
you know, and it's like you know, trying to engage with people up front is like the number one thing.
Exactly.
And like we teach everyone. I mean, we were both fortunate. We both ate at NOMA. We went together for the Euro Cup and ate at NOMA. And
Yeah.
the entire restaurant stopped when we got there and turned and said hi to us. And we're like,
Yeah.
Like it's,
It was
blown
almost
away.
overboard, but it was you felt amazing, right?
yeah.
yeah.
And it was like,
like
you know,
a scene.
and like you know, like I went to Japan right before we opened too, and it's like you go into those places and they're like, I don't know what they're saying. It's like, yeah, and you're just like, you feel so good walking in, and
Absolutely.
when you go away, they say something too, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I was like, I want that happy. I want everyone to come in and be like, hello. We used to do that at Craft and Commerce, you know, and I think that's why it was mainly so successful. I mean, there's a lot of new cool stuff, but like people would walk in and we'd be, hello, how's it going? And then when they left, we'd be like, hey, thanks for coming. I remember people being like shocked, like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, like they care, you know?
It's
And
not you're lucky to be
You just
here.
don't see that as much anymore.
It's almost like we are social creatures. and
Yeah.
we should be nurturing.
I know. All right, biggest science hack then, or like an ingredient technical hack, like, or hack or tip, or you know.
What makes your life easy?
What I loved,
better.
you said this earlier. Like if you think about a cocktail, and this is my problem with most craft cocktails, is I think that a lot of times they're way too sweet. I mean, you just got to let it sit and dilute a little bit with the ice. And I know that it's meant to dilute, so sometimes that's the plan. You know, so just shake it up, stir it up, make sure that it gets a little diluted. But some are way too sweet, and I can only drink a half of one. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to move to something lighter. I'm going to move to like a Sauvignon Blanc or something. You said you think about a restaurant.
Yeah, so I mean, thinking of cocktails like you would food. You know, if we all went to dinner, we're going to order, 3-4 appetizers, maybe a salad or two, some entrees. For 4 people, like maybe two desserts.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know, if drinks are already too sweet, it's like you're not going to get another dessert on top of the one you just had.
Exactly.
You know? It's
So they should eat more like apps or drink more like apps.
Drinks should be, I tried to, the way that we make drinks and I always tried to do them is, we put salt in almost everything. Salt is the hack. Mm-hmm. We put salt in everything.
Yep.
It's like, it's salsa, it's chips, it's,
It's why michelada is so good. Yeah.
If you said, I need you to eat 8 tortillas right now, you'd go, get the fuck out of here. But if I fry it and put salt on it, you're like,
I'll take 20.
yeah, I'll eat 9 of them.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to sit here and just crush it. So the idea with like the way we make cocktails is like higher acid, a little bit of salt. I mean, salt's like a very minimal part, but
Yeah,
the goal is like you want that, you want to keep like bringing it back.
Yeah.
And
Got
like
it.
you want to
balance.
you want that next sip to be as refreshing as the first sip.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's too sweet and it's just like weighing you down, like you're not going to get another one. And I think that sweet is the fail safe for people that don't understand taste or balance, and they just they think that that's where the flavor's at, and it's not.
How do you feel about putting a Washington Memorial into a Bloody Mary and sticking a rotisserie chicken on its ass?
I hate Bloody Marys. It's like booze soup.
Wait, how come? Yeah, but why do you hate Bloody Marys?
The big garnish world, I guess. How do you feel about the massive garnish?
Bloody Marys, I don't like because I feel like you only have one. You know, it's like
too
always
thick.
too heavy.
Yeah.
that's true.
I think Bloody Mary should be half the size.
Yeah.
I think,
like,
I think
I'm
Bloody
usually-
Mary should be like 8 ounces.
I'm usually drinking a Bloody
Quick
Mary
and
because
easy.
I'm hungover, right?
Yep.
And you're like, you want to get back.
Yeah.
But it's like you almost like need a nap after that.
It's true.
Right?
For sure.
So it's like not getting you back to where you need
You
to
know,
be.
thanks for the gazpacho.
Like I've never really been into gimmicks either, and I think that the Bloody Mary is like the gimmick drink. You know, it's like we can put bacon and shrimp and octopus arm
That's
or
what I'm saying.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
The
it's like,
Vegas buffet.
and it's just this fucking like, what's the point?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and it's
You're
like,
I'm not going to eat all that.
and
You
then
know
it's still
you're
a
not.
Bloody Mary. Like people aren't going to pay $40 for it. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's a cocktail, and it's
Right.
I don't know. I think that the gimmicky part of food and drinks is like we're trying to do the opposite of that.
Right. Yeah, be playful, but just create a good product and look somebody in the eye. Really, that's it. Yeah. The happiest day in your happy medium, meaning like, what was the day that you're like, you guys have taken on this big thing? You know, I'm sure at no small personal cost. You know, and you've been through the ringer with it, with the construction and everything else. You know, what was that one day you're like, God, that was it, man. Like that's why we did it. You know, like can you remember a moment?
I have a few. I mean, I think a lot of people don't get to pay back their investors in the first year, and like we did 2 payments back last year, which is
Awesome.
great. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that was like a huge step for
Yeah.
we're doing it. You know,
Yeah.
we're making money, which is the ultimate goal, right?
Right.
Business.
Like to feed my family. And
It's like
this
we're
is why
good.
we took all
we're
the
good
risk.
at bartending, but it's like, are we good business people?
Sure.
You know, that's something to look at. I think that's always.
And
something.
that's huge. I mean, it may not sound sexy, but I mean, God, when you guys do the sexy part, that's why that's the basis of the attraction of happy medium is creating an amazing cocktail, which people are really fascinated by. It's the other unsexy part that's really more gratifying. You're like, okay, I made a profitable business with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do the creative stuff, but I can also not just lose somebody money. You know, I can.
You get it. Magazine writer to magazine owner pipeline, right?
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. You guys
I
did
think-
it, and now you're doing it.
Yeah, and I think like the Bartenders Weekend started like a month or so after we opened, and we had our first event with like Lalo Tequila.
Yeah.
And it was the first event, I think, like one of the first events in the whole weekend, and we just got demolished. Like line down the road, people trying to get in. It was like I literally cannot fit another person in here.
Yeah.
And it was just the best feeling.
That's the best.
Yeah.
We took
Problem and a half.
all the furniture out.
Yeah.
So the inside of our space is the size of like the original Noble Experiment. It's like
It's not big.
30 seats. We had 300 people in there.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
It was
If you're listening from the fire department,
This
Just joking.
never happened.
the fire department drove by. And they were like, "Holy shit, these guys are busy." Yeah, I mean, one of the moments that I'll remember is like after all the crazy shit. The first day we opened, we both looked at each other and we're like, "Let's get the fuck out of here and get a beer."
yeah,
And we walked across the street and we went to 619, grabbed a beer, sat down, and just like took a deep breath, and we're like, we fucking did it.
We did it,
like,
man.
Whether it stays or not, like
Right.
we opened a bar and we did it. And it was this real, like, I mean, a crazy sense of accomplishment given all the hurdles we went through with escrow and
yeah.
I don't know, the IRS and all that stuff. So
Yeah, just to recap everybody the stories that we didn't tell today because I got to knock this thing down because we've been talking for an hour and a half. You lost your chef on the day before you opened.
Yeah.
The day before.
yeah.
How was that? Was that fun?
That was the first time I think I saw Christian shed a tear. I was like, we're going to get through this. We're going to open still. We're going to do it.
I can't imagine.
I walked into the kitchen and I said, all right, guys, change of plans.
They're thinking, well, we're out of tomatoes. You know?
I was like, we don't have a chef. And this girl just looks at me and she's like, do we still have jobs? And I was like, absolutely.
Yes. You're
I
like,
was
yes, chef.
And I was like,
We shall.
we
As a
are
matter of fact,
going to pay
indeed.
you, and we're going to open. And
And you're going to chef it.
I
And
walked
who knows
out,
how to make
and
chicken
I
fingers?
just started fucking bawling.
Did you? Yeah.
My wife's like, let's take a walk. I'm like, I lost it.
I actually, I can absolutely imagine, you know. Yeah.
It was the first time. It's like, I think part of like when we're doing all this, it's like you have an idea, you think it's going to work, you have no fucking idea, and then we hire people that also have that faith and belief that we can do
and believe
it.
in you. Yeah.
And then it's like to look at them in the face, knowing the struggles we went through, and we're like, I don't want to let them down.
Totally.
Like we grew up like team players, like growing up playing soccer, and like I played college lacrosse and stuff, and like it's a team thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let them down, and like being the captain or leader of the team, like you can't show any weakness type thing.
No.
And it's just like, fuck, this is brutal.
So how was it? I mean, did you guys just do chicken fingers? Did you get a bunch of dino nuggets from across the street?
I mean, the first night of investors. I mean, the big thing is,
And it was all your investors there too?
Yeah, it was friends and family investors first night, and so a little
They
bit better.
understand.
But yeah,
we warned them.
I mean, I was kind of like, like these guys invested in us for the cocktails. They didn't invest us with food.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we'll figure out some food, and then we'll get through this.
And you have. I mean, you got fantastic sandwiches and using
Yeah.
great bread and great products, and they're well balanced, just like your cocktails.
Thank you.
But for opening day, guaranteed they weren't.
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of like got through with like 5 items, and then Ami came and helped us. Like we got her to come consult for us.
Ami,
for
who's
that.
had El Barbecue in San Diego. Actually, when another guy related story, but when he came to San Diego for Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, he said, where are you taking me for, where are you taking me, period? And I was like, you got to go to Grano Barbecue at Flynn Springs. I was one of my favorite places, great Texas brisket, and it was Ami who was the chef there at the time.
So she whipped up a menu in like 3 days for our first day of opening, and we just kind of expanded from there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I actually remember
Yeah.
we talked about that menu. We were
Yeah.
like, Ami Cisneros is doing and now we
know.
know the backstory. That's actually kind of cool. I remember us
So
talking
awesome.
about that.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this damn thing up because that pickle beer is delicious, but it's not getting any colder. That sandwich is calling my name. And congratulations
thank you.
that you made it now, what, year and a half? 2 years?
We're just over
a year.
Oh, just over a year.
Yeah.
Just over a year. So congratulations on the first
Thank
year
you.
anniversary. I did just see on the wire that North Park's starting more construction right in your street.
Fantastic.
They're actually doing it in the alley behind you now.
Sexy streets.
Yeah, 60 year streaks just get a little bit. It's like nothing goes with that mayonnaise and stuff. Was it mayonnaise and stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Mayo
I
and
think
stuff.
Mayo and
Mayo
stuff.
and
Mayo and stuff. Mayo and
Yeah,
stuff. Anything else you want to get across before we say goodbye? I'm not going to say goodbye. We're going to go to $2 $50 where you like to eat, but
I would say turf.
okay, we're just going straight into $2 $50.
going-
I was talking about your story. We talked about it long enough. Okay. Turf Club is your call for $250.
Yeah, I would say turf club. It's enough for like a burger, maybe a steak, couple martinis.
Okay.
Call it a day.
Fantastic. So Turf Club, if you don't know, Golden Hill, we just talked about, you cook your own steak. They got a sneaky tiki that if you drink that thing, you better plan it, just call out of work for the next week. It's one of the classics in San Diego. What about you?
I live in North County, so I go to a place called Rosanna's. It's like on El Camino Real. It's like just a mom and pop, like Italian shop, pastas
Okay.
and sandwiches.
Yep.
And it's delicious.
All right. Wait, what do you get? What's it?
I mean, we usually get 2 sandwiches and 2 pastas, which is way too much, but we eat it for a couple days,
Yeah,
Okay.
and you need a little bit of each.
Yeah.
We order the same way. 4 dishes for 2 people, and then like you get it,
You
and
gotta
they're
go there. It's
doubling
like, yeah.
the utensils, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but they make their own bread. And it's all fresh pasta. It's great.
Hell yeah. Okay, mine is Nutmeg Bakery over in Carmel Mountain Ranch. I was in Sabre Springs. This guy used to be at Market with Carl Shorter for a while. He was actually started his career at Cafe Chloe. And you went
Miss
on
that place.
Yeah, I
Right?
know. The classic. Allison is now with CH. She's over there running the reading club. The the chef went from Cafe Chloe to Market, opened up this little bakery called Nutmeg in Sabre Springs. I grew up in that area. There is approximately a Alpha Beta, which doesn't exist anymore. But that's saying something. That's probably still the best place to eat. There's nothing there. And Nutmeg Bakery is the one like really good from scratch place. And you go in there and you get they call it the Triple D special because guy did go in there again. God, this guy has to stop coming up in this podcast. But anyways, he went in there, did a bananas Foster's French toast stuffed with ricotta. It's fucking great. I'm salivating talking about it right now. It is really good, and he does it with almost like a porchetta sandwich on the side. So you get your sweet and your savory. Sick. It's really, really good, and it's really one of the stars of that inland North County Poway Penasquitos scene. So if you're ever over there and you're stranded and you're looking for a good place, Nutmeg Bakery every single time, and they just launched dinner service too. What about you?
So interestingly, I want to shout out something that's not on the Lou's menu. But that you can get at Lou's, that they're both looking at me like, why are you fucking doing this right now?
The one that already went viral and they can't figure out how to cost out?
They can't figure out how to cost out, but maybe this will force them.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right, well, Jackie's just screwing you. Okay, right on.
You can get any salad that they have on the Lou's menu in a wrap, right? It does say that. You can get
any sandwich as a wrap.
You can get any sandwich as a wrap.
Well, okay.
So you can take their kale salad, you can make it into a wrap, and if you add the fried chicken cutlet, it's going to bring it out to what, like $16, $17?
Hope so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think that's what I paid for it last week.
37. It's Jadori.
We'll update the menu.
It's technically not on the menu, but an influencer, not me, an influencer, I don't know who it is, she posted about it, which is how I found out that you could get a kale Caesar wrap at Lou's. So I reposted it and then posted my own, and now I'm talking about it here. But honestly, it fucking rules. It's one of the best things I've eaten recently, and it's like just a near perfect grab and go menu item. So thank you guys.
That's it. All right. So Lou's, congratulations. Basically, it's almost like you're sharing a wall and a spirit with Happy Medium, right?
Yeah.
And a kitchen.
You can order at Lou's and eat in Happy Medium and order more drinks.
There you go.
The Lou's logo for a deep cut, it's based on the Paul's Boutique.
No way.
If you zoom in on the Paul's Boutique logo on the Paul's Boutique album, that's where we got that logo.
No way.
Yeah.
You guys, you realize you really should have stolen my idea that I've been talking to Arsalan about opening up one day, Glory Tacos. I want to board up like a whole commissary kitchen and just cut two holes in it. In one hole you stick a bunch of money. The other hole you get Glory 2 tacos.
It's just not around anymore. Those glory holes.
That just might work.
All right,
we just talked about bobbing for pickles earlier. This fits the theme, I guess.
All right. Well, San Diego's 2 favorite bartenders. Thank you very much for coming on in. Happy Medium. Where can everybody find you? Is it Happy Medium on Instagram or something?
Happy Medium SD.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that Christian is like, I have no idea.
Christian actually looked at me. I was like, I do in fact know it because I'm so online.
I don't know.
And you find Jack at JACQBRY. You can find me at Hey Troy Johnson. And we're at San Diego Mag. Next week we'll be back. Julie, who do we have next week? Julie's like, will you just at least give me a heads up, you asshole?
She's like, guys.
Julia is our producer. She's lovingly wearing, are you wearing a San Diego Magazine jacket? No, you're not. That's different. Okay. We have June Shine next week. They're releasing something, a collaboration with Willie Nelson. Yeah. We're going to talk all about that. San Diego-based hard kombucha. I don't know. Go get some pickle popcorn. Try yourself a pickle beer. Drunk Mom 9 on Instagram. Drunk Mom 9, is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Go check out Drunk Mom 9 on Instagram, and you'll find yourself a rarefied, awesome woman who makes a hell of a beer. All right. See you guys later.
Thank you.